Hello and good day, my name is Hypnos, and today I want to share my incredible experience playing Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. It's easily my favorite JRPG in recent years, but here's the twist, I've never played another Yakuza game before. Yet, despite that, I had an absolute blast. So, let me take you through my journey, my thoughts on the game, and whether Infinite Wealth is a good entry point for first-time Yakuza players. Let's get to it. Right off the bat, what I did first was watch a quick recap video of the story of Kazuma Kiryu, and skim through some background on Ichiban Kasuga. That's it. No deep dives into the lore, no playing older games. With that, I jumped straight into Infinite Wealth. The game introduces the characters and the plot in a slow and careful manner. Even without experiences from the previous games, I did not feel lost at all, aside from very few references that can be easily fixed by a simple Google search. When mentioning important stuff and references, they squeeze in simple recap or reminders so that players can easily catch up. The early part of the game has a lot of cutscenes, which I appreciated because it set the standard of the quality of story I will be experiencing going forward. It's also building the stakes of the main plot, which helped a lot to propel me forward and play it non-stop. And as a first-timer, these early cutscenes were enough to get me hooked and invested in the story. Infinite Wealth took me by surprise as I played along. I did not expect it to be so funny and weird, and I mean this as a compliment. It's obviously a very unique Yakuza game with its JRPG element combined with some weird NPCs, over-the-top moves and effects, and the perfect balance of comedy and badass action. As someone who really loves JRPG, I found this game really enjoyable and I would describe it as a JRPG on steroids. Halfway through the total chapters and it still ramps up on gameplay content. It just has a lot of features on top of your usual JRPG elements. Awesome stuff such as the number of party members, different job classes and equipment, and interesting skills and moveset. The minigames in this game were also so much better compared to other JRPGs. Because of the unserious vibe it set, it helped in making the different minigames and side quests more engaging and it never felt out of place. For example, it has a Pokemon gameplay parody called Sujimon. It has an Animal Crossing-like content and a lot more minigames inspired by some retro games we love.
Yeah.
Enough about the gameplay and let's go back to the story and the characters and my thoughts about them as a first-time Yakuza player. I found Ichiban Kasuga as an awesome protagonist. He is very nice and actually gullible, which is sometimes the reason he gets in trouble in this game. Kazuma Kiryu, on the other hand, is more cool and reserved. But you can obviously tell how much he cares about his friends, giving them advice usually based on his own experiences. I felt connected to them for a relatively short amount of time, which is actually good for a first-timer. Although I can't help but think that the experience would be a whole lot better if I played the previous games. The other party members and NPCs were also interesting and gave more life to the game world and the story. The only negative thing I can tell with Infinite Wealth being my first Yakuza game is that around the final 3 chapters, the game focused more as a tribute to Kiryu as a character and his journey throughout the whole Yakuza series. There were different NPCs who got their own cameo, sharing stories on how Kiryu affected their lives. Most of these were side quests and you don't necessarily have to go through if you don't want to. But I imagine it would be something that longtime Yakuza fans would really enjoy. Heck, I had no idea with most of these NPCs, but they still touched my heart with all those stories. Overall, I enjoyed the game so much, and it's not an exaggeration that this is one of the best JRPG I have played in a long time. It's a good time to be a Yakuza fan, with the recent release of the new Pirate Yakuza game that is as exciting and with a fresh action-packed gameplay. At the end of the day, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth turned me into a Yakuza fan. I came in blind, knowing only that the gameplay looked fun, and I walked away with one of the best JRPG experiences I've had in a long time. If you are someone who values gameplay a lot, I think it's fair to try out Infinite Wealth as your first game, since it offers a lot. It was a good first game for me, and it would definitely not be my last. The story is engaging even without prior knowledge, and watching a recap is more than enough to get by. Of course, longtime fans will argue that playing previous games enhances the experience, and I completely understand that. But from my perspective, jumping in with Infinite Wealth worked just fine. So, what do you think? Would you play Infinite Wealth as your first Yakuza game? Let me know in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this video and subscribe for more video game lists and essays like this. My name is Hypnos, and thanks for watching.